Once again, I'm seeing Jake Paul shit all over the internet. You offered Paddy Pimblett £1 million to spar. You offered to have Tyson £1 million bet about some or other. But you don't want to pay me much more to have a fight. Well, I'll go one better than that because it's gone past money for me now. I'm not bothered. I'll fight you for free in Manchester or London next month. It's not a problem. So let's see how game you are. Promoters get nothing who's trying to take everything. Me and you get nothing. All proceeds will go to charity. I just want to fight you and put an end to you. Because all this money and everything, it's gone on too long. I just want to fight you now. Manchester or London, next month. We get nothing. All proceeds to charity. Take it or leave it.
What's good, family? It's your man the YB, back once again. Big shout out to my doggy. Third real films are coming through and boosting the coin up, no doubt about it. So we just heard there from the man himself. Pretty looking ass, big buff bodybuilder, pumped full of juices. Listen, Mr. Pretty Slick Rick here, wannabe ass. Wind your beacon, number one. I don't like the way this guy comes with a bars. You don't want it, that's the first thing. But let's actually address the allegations he's making. He's saying, no, wait a minute. He says he wants to fight for free now. Wait there, I don't want to fight you for money. But then, a minute before he said that, Jake Paul, I'll fight you for free on the cobbles. A minute before he says that, he says, well, you wanted to pay Paddy Pimblett $1 million to spar, and you wanted to pay this other guy, but then you don't want to offer me much more to fight. What? You just said you want to fight for free, and you don't care about money, but then a minute ago you was crying about, oh, Paddy Pimblett got offered $1 million to spar, but you won't pay me more. This guy, he's not consistent. And that's my issue. He's not real. Yeah? Think about it. Wait a minute. I'm prepared to fight for free on the cobbles in 2 months' time, but I'm not prepared to fight for a little bit more than $1 million Paddy Pimblett was going to get to spar. Do you know? It don't make no sense. If you're prepared to fight for free, guess what? You don't complain about what Paddy Pimblett was offered. You say, great, I'm prepared to fight for free, so anything's a bonus over that. And that's what you do. It's a massive well, not even a contradiction, it's a fundamental logical error. Yeah? You can't be, if you're prepared to fight for free, yeah, what does it matter what the promoters are making? What does it matter what Jake Paul's making? If you genuinely are happy to fight Jake Paul for free, you should be laughing all the way to the bank, saying, wow, I'm happy to punch this mug up for free. He's actually going to pay me to do it. That's what someone would do. What you don't do is do what he's done. Yeah, this clown, this pretty looking clown. Listen, we all know what he's doing. He knows, and rightfully so. Yeah, this game, from my point of view, yeah, Jake Paul, he delivers value. He goes in there with relatively not a lot of experience, yeah. And I'm not being funny here. Jake Paul's fighting dudes, or fighting more dangerous fights than 90% of the real boxing market. The real boxing market, they fight bums. I mean, look at Timmy Fumbles. Timmy Fumbles is the perfect example. Timmy Fumbles fights bums. Absolute bums. Jake Paul was going in there with certified stamped fighters from the jump. Okay, yeah, Nate. No, in fact, no. He fought. Who did he wash? He washed Deji. That don't count, but whatever. He washed Deji nonetheless. Who else he washed next? Who was it next? Was it Ben? Either way, Pudding. Oh yeah, it was Nate. Nate Robinson. Don't forget, at the time, yeah, people was gassing up the basketball player. Oh man, he from the hood, and we do it different down here. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. He got washed 100%. The JP washed his ass all the way back to the hood, 100%. And then who was it? Muffin Top Ben Askren. One hitter quitter. And that's the other thing people haven't factored in. Jake Paul's not only fighting better competition than Timmy, he's also washing them as well. Do you understand? That's the difference here. Timmy's fighting bums and going life and death with him. Anyway, my point is, Jake Paul, yeah, every time he fights, there's a lot of risk. And every time he fights, he doesn't have 20 years in the game like Timmy does. And therefore, I believe he's earned the right to make money. Yeah, there are clowns like KSI, for example, just taking the Michael. That last fight when he fought on the Misfits and fought them two, I don't even want to call them bums. Them two Muppets, that rapper, KSI is fighting rappers who have never boxed a day in their life before. And that's LSI, yeah, LSI was criticising Jake Paul for fighting Nate like 5 years ago. Oh, he's not a real boxer, you fought Nate. Wait a minute, it's now 4 years later when you're fighting a rapper. He's not even a sports guy. That bum, I've got his name now, Swamps. Swamps wasn't even a athlete. He's just a bum. A random ass fake hood dude who can't squabble at all. Got no paws. Yeah? And KSI's fighting this guy now. Like, what the fuck? He's gone backwards. How can you go from fighting Logan Paul to fighting Swamps and some other muppet? Oh, well, I've fought a boxer before Jake Paul. Listen, LSI, if you've fought a boxer, yeah, before Jake Paul, go and take out Woodley. Why'd you duck Woodley for? Wait there. Oh, Jake Paul hasn't fought a real boxer. Neither of you. You fought two bums, scrubs, Swamps and some other muppet, Pinata. Yeah? Anyway, where I'm going with this is, you've got muppets like KSI making money and not delivering no value. They're not real fights. It's all a big charade. Jake Paul's going in there, and by the way, even if you don't like, all the muppets, he hasn't fought anyone real. Listen, if he hasn't fought no one real, yeah, tell your man's LSI, tell your man's Timmy Fumbles to go in there with Anderson Silva. Yeah? If Timmy Fumbles can knock out Woodley in the same fashion Jake Paul did, I'll come out and say, you know what, people, you're right. There's something wrong here. Jake Paul isn't delivering the value I thought he was. But until I see KSI or Timmy knock out Woodley or wash Anderson Silva, I ain't trying to hear about it. Because these people criticise, yeah, but they ain't doing the same things. They ain't doing them once. And by the way, LSI and Timmy, both of them, man, have been offered the Woodley opportunity. Both of them have. Both of them could have said, you know what, Jake Paul's not a real boxer. Jake Paul not this, that, the other. I'm going to go in there and show people what time it was. They didn't want that one. Categorically. KSI ducked it, and Timmy, come on now, he don't want no smoke. Anyway, the reason I give you that backstory is to say that Jake Paul, whether you like it or not, he's earned the right, through hard work, to be paid for doing so. And then, to be quite honest with you, I think Jake Paul will go to the UK and punch you up for free, to be quite honest. But if I was advising Jake Paul, I'd tell him that. Why? Wait a minute, we're the A-side. Timmy don't bring nothing to the table. He don't. Timmy don't bring nothing to the table. We're the A-side. We're bringing the network. Everything's about us. Timmy would not be on... Listen, what we know for a fact is Jake Paul's on pay-per-view regardless. Jake Paul can fight Nate Robinson and be on pay-per-view. Timmy can't get on pay-per-view without Jake Paul. Jake Paul is the bona fide A-side. And wait a minute. The bona fide A-side has already conceded to leave in his hometown. Who does that? Who leaves it? Wait a minute. Who leaves their hometown as the bona fide A-side? Oops, no one. But nonetheless, Jake Paul's that thirsty to punch this pretty looking dude up and leave his pretty looking all different 100%. He's prepared. He's desperate for the squabbles. He's desperate to push this guy dinner back in for him. He's happy to come to the UK. And that's a huge concession. Okay, no worries. I want you that bad. Forget about it being in the US. And don't also forget, people, yeah? This hasn't happened in a vacuum where you can say, well, YB, you know, whatever. This has happened. Like, from my point of view, well, not from my point of view, the facts say Timmy Fumbles, yeah, he's on the back foot right now. He's pulled out like 3 times. Do you understand? First it was his rib. Then it was this. Then my rib. Oh, my ankle. Oh, I can't get to the US. So again, this hasn't happened in a vacuum. And on that the fact Timmy's pulled out 2 or 3 times before, the fact now Jake Paul has to leave. So wait a minute. Not only have you pulled out and messed up millions of dollars through Jake Paul having to organise late notice fights and whatever else, not only have you done that, you're now saying, oh, I've messed up all your other fights, I've pulled out a bunch of times, and now you want me to come to the UK. Jake Paul says, yes, no problem. You pulled out 10 times, I've got to come to the UK, no problem. And now you're moving the goalpost once again. Actually, Jake Paul, it's not enough that I've messed you around 10 times. It's not enough that you've got to come to the UK. Now I want you to fight for free as well. Where do they find these guys at? Get this guy out of here 100%. And the point is, I've just showed you what the point is. He ain't trying to fight. Every single time there's been some sort of bullshit goalpost moving. Oh, my rib. Oh, I can't fight in the US. Oh, now, if we do fight, I don't want it to be about money. We'll do it for free. How'd that make sense? How'd that make sense? If you don't want to fight for money, yeah? I'll tell you what to do, Timmy. In fact, I've just solved it. If you just want to fight Jake Paul and you're effed off with a business, then you can say to Jake Paul, I'm done with the business. I understand. Listen to me. I understand potentially you're tired of the business. And if that's the case, all you have to do is pick the blower up, get Jake Paul on the line and tell him, listen, Jake Paul, I'll fight you in 2 months in the UK. However, I'm absolutely sick of doing business with you. On that basis, whatever you decide to give me, give it to charity. Because that's the same thing, isn't it? You're saying you want to do it for free. So why did Jake Paul have to fight for free? That's about you. Do you understand? I don't get that one. If you're tired of negotiating, if you're tired of getting messy around money, if you just want to fight, you're not bothered about anything else, you just want to fight, sign over the financials, sign over your financial stake, and get it popping. Do you understand? And I've just explained to you why none of it makes sense. And the real reason that this guy's trying to... Again, he's moving the goalpost. That's the real reason. He's moved the goalpost to another... essentially unachievable step. No one in their right mind thinks Jake Paul is going to come to the UK and fight this clown for free. It's never going to happen. And Timmy knows that. Yeah? And I guarantee you there'll be some weird Fury fanboys. Oh yes, Timmy. He'll fight him in the cobbles for free. Oh yes, a real fighting man. Oh yes, Timmy. He's real fighting, yes, 100%. Real fighting man. He'll fight him for free on the cobbles. You know what I'm saying? I bet there's some cornballs in my comment section. Oh, YB. Jake Paul. He's too scared. Oh yes, Timmy's a real fighting man. See, and that's what's going to piss me off. Yeah, is when I see goofies in my comment section saying things like, "Oh yes, I knew it all along. He's a real fighting man. He wants to fight for free. Oh yes, all about the honour. Oh yes." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you now, there's going to be weird Fury fangirls in my comment section doing some weird mental maths, and they'll be actually using this to show how much of a real fighting guy. And that's what I can't deal with. I can't deal with low IQ Egypts, yeah, who are actually going to use this to big up, oh yeah, see, look, Tommy will fight for free. Oh, you know what I mean? Nah, man, that's whack. That's super whack. If you want to fight for free, there's nothing stopping you doing that. Because, by the way, it has to be mentioned, Timmy, just because you're used to messing people around and whatever else, how do you think the bills get paid? Do you think Showtime and everyone else, how do you think arenas get paid for? You think, what, we're just going to book an arena? Things have to be paid for. Business has to be done. If you want to donate your side to charity, you're well within your right to do that. And I salute you for that, if you actually do it. But why have you conflated being paid with the fight at all? Timmy Fumbles is essentially saying, the only way I'm fighting Jake Paul is if it's for free. I don't want anything to do with the business side. It just don't make no sense, does it? You don't want to fight Timmy. At this point, if you wanted to fight, you'd be saying, listen, Jake Paul, or at least in your own head, you know what, man, I've played this guy around. I should be grateful he's given me a third look in after I pulled out, after I cancelled because I couldn't allegedly get to the US. If you really wanted this fight, you'd be saying, damn, man, thank my lucky stars. The first 2 times were my fault. I can't believe this guy's given me a third chance to pop him in his chops. You should be desperate for this opportunity, not trying to put more barriers. Who do you think you are to put barriers in the way? Do you know what I'm saying? And it's a clear barrier. This is not, again, low IQ people. Oh no, YB. See, he wants to. I'm telling you now, anyone who puts in my comment section, yeah, he wants to fight for free. Anyone who believes that, you're getting blocked straight. Yeah, straight blocked, 100%. Anyone who believes any of what he's saying, blocked. Yeah? I'll tell you what to do, Timmy. Tell Tyson Fury to fight for free, innit? That's what you should do. Tell your brother to start fighting for free. Don't forget, after all these years, Tyson Fury says we're priced... And I'm not even knocking it. I believe when you're fighting competitive fights, you deserve to be paid. And this Timmy Fumbles versus Jake Paul, in theory at least, is a competitive fight. Why shouldn't... Jake, wait a minute. Just because you allegedly don't want to be paid, even though you're crying about the offers Jake Paul gave other people, which don't make sense in itself, but just because you don't want to be paid, what's that got to do with Jake Paul? And that's why this tells me this fight ain't never going to happen. He knows that. He knows Jake Paul. And part of me thinks, ooh, should Jake Paul call his bluff and just come over and punch the guy up? Part of me, you know what, actually? Listen, thinking about it now, actually, you know, Jake Paul's already got 50 mil. So I'm thinking to myself, this for Jake Paul, really, yeah, we all like more money, but from Jake Paul's point of view, I think for his career and clout, And the thing is, we know actually. In fact, yeah, boom, I've just solved this. We know Tim, even if Jake Paul agrees to coming over and punching this guy pretty looking face up for free, we know Timmy going to find another way to weasel out. So thinking about this from a game theory point of view, Jake Paul should be all over this all day. Because really it's a win-win for him. Either number one, Jake Paul says no problem, I'll fight you for free. And the fight doesn't happen, in which case Jake Paul looks even better again. Or number two, the fight does happen, Jake Paul gets to punch this guy up, give the money to charity and look great. A lot of these guys, a lot of these celebrity guys, they end up giving, I don't know, $1 million or $2 million a year in charity anyway. So Jake Paul could just use this opportunity as a huge charity, a huge charity advertisement plug, and say, you know what, for the year 2023, this is going to be my charitable giving, in that sense. Put it all into one. And that way, you ain't lost nothing, really. Punch this guy up, and your clout from washing a Fury goes up through the roof. And again, it's not like Jake Paul's hurting for money. He's already got a whole bunch of money. This is worth more than money. I believe, a minute ago, I wasn't sure. A minute ago, I thought, should Jake Paul fight for free? No, but thinking about it now, yeah, this must happen. I must see. And again, all Jake Paul will be doing is calling Timmy Fury's bluff. And I'm telling you now, a man who comes out with this, he ain't trying to fight. I believe there's less than a 1% chance Timmy really wants to fight. Just based on what I've heard there, it makes no sense. And Jake Paul, he has to come out and call the guy's bluff. No problem. 2 months in the UK, in London. All to charity. That's what Jake Paul should do now. It's not rational. And again, I'm not involved with Team JP, so ain't going to make a scrap of difference what I'm saying. But looking at it holistically, where does Jake Paul go from here in that sense? It's not like there's a whole bunch of other super duper fights. This would be huge for his profile. Imagine seeing this guy spark out in the UK as well. Washing this guy in the UK on his terms for free. There's nothing more potent than that. Yeah? I came to your backyard, all of your weird ass tactics, and I still washed you and left you sleeping. I don't genuinely believe. I think Timmy's too stiff. Yeah? His chin, got a long pointy chin, long big buff bulbous chin. And I just see, honestly, I see him getting clipped. And I see him rolling over. I just see him. That's how I feel. And even if any knockout, I see Jake Paul boxing this guy's ears off. This guy can't fight. He can't, in my opinion, from what I've seen, he don't have no pop. And he's very stiff as well. We've just seen Jake Paul outbox the Spider. Now he's old, but he weren't no mug. I'm telling you, again, YB, you're sucking Jake Paul off. Listen, if I'm sucking Jake Paul off, tell Tommy to go in there and knock out Woodley and knock out Anderson Silva. That's all you got to do. And if he does that, I'll say, you know what, maybe I'm wrong on the JP. Until then, zip it. Because this guy's a clown. Where's all these people at, all gassing up Tommy, who've been telling, trust me, there's been enough people for the last 18 months. And again, wait a minute, this man keeps pulling out. Do you understand that? Wait a minute, how many times, how many videos, have we heard from Jake Paul over the last 18 months? With some sort of issue, yeah? Where's the video of Jake Paul saying, bear in mind people, Jake Paul's supposed to be the internet loser. Tommy Fury's, really fighting man. Yes. Yeah? He's the real fighting man. 200 years, bare knuckle. On the cobbles. I'll fight you on the cobble, bare knuckle. 100. Yeah? He's the bare knuckle cobbles done. 200 years of purebred, thoroughbred bare knuckle dons. So wait a minute, Mr. 200 years of purebred, 100%. John Fury says Tommy Fury is the 17th in the lineage of purebreds. Yeah, there ain't been no muggle bloods in the Fury line, allegedly. Yeah, I've heard, apparently, the Fury line, they took the best bare knuckled on from one side of the earth, from the east of the earth, and one bare knuckled on from the west, and they bred them the whole way down. Timmy Fumbles is the perfect bare knuckle whatever done. So on that basis, why is it always this corny guy on my screen? Remember, don't forget this one. Peep this one. My rib. I'm sorry, guys. I've got the rib. Yeah? Please don't forget that one. And all you Fury cornballs came at me. He's ill. In fact, that's what pissed me off. When these guys started to try and spin the narrative. Them man were then saying, what? Jake Paul wants to fight Tommy injured. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I can't deal with. I can't deal with this weirdo coming out of things that make no sense to anyone with any IQ, and then Fury Man fans, oh yeah, well, yeah, Jake Paul trying to fight Tommy injured. Oh yeah, yeah. What? Imagine if Jake Paul had come out and said, my rib's gone. Oh yes, Tommy's a really fighting man. And that's the worst thing. In fact, that time, when Tommy came out and said his rib was hurting, yeah, a week before that in the press conference, he actually said, I'll fight Jake Paul with no hands and no legs, and I'll fight Jake Paul with, oh, you know what I mean? He literally said that a week before he pulled out. And I'm telling you now, if it had been Jake Paul who made them lame excuses, all the Fury fans, yeah, see, Jake Paul's not a real fighting man. I know Tommy. Tommy would have been straight in it, and Tommy himself would have been on the gram saying, oh, Jake Paul's not a real fighting man. If it was me who had that problem, I'd have been straight in there and punched him up, no problem. And the worst thing is, that weren't even the beginning and end of it. Yeah? This wasn't a case of, well, YB, he was sick and then came striking back. No, he was sick, allegedly, and then 6 months later, I can't come to the US, conveniently. Yeah? Even though he's pictured with his missus in LA and wherever else a month before the Jake Paul fight was made. That's just a fact. Yeah? And by the way, Tommy showed no documents that he's banned from travelling to the US. He clipped on to his brother's coattails. Yeah, and now, Jake Paul, after 2 pullouts, is happy to come here and pop you right in your pretty looking chops. Now you want all of a sudden want to fight for free. Get this guy out of here. I ain't trying to hear no more from this guy. This guy's a pretty looking cornball. Yeah? And you don't want it. Tommy, you're not a fighter. You're not a fighter. You're honestly one of the most scary dudes I've ever seen. And at the end of the day, yeah, your brother told you, if you lose this fight, you know what I'm saying? You know, and to some extent, I feel sorry for Timmy. Timmy knows he ain't got no paws. He knows he ain't got no pop. Yeah, he's about to be a dad. And let's be real now, it's the social media era, yeah? Tommy and Molly, they get kind of, obviously, everyone gets trolls, yeah, but Tommy and Molly, they get certain, innit? Tommy knows. About to be a father. Do I really want my son growing up seeing the Jake Paul getting off all over me on the internet? Yeah, do I want my son growing up with my, you know what I'm saying? With a high, let's not forget, Tommy, we've all seen John Fury put out Sparko, yeah, by the Black Skellington. The Black Skellington laid out John Fury cold with a rangefinder. That's a fact. And then Team Lighty, Gerber came in. Is it Gerber? Some next Don came in and popped him again. So Tommy had to deal with that trauma. Tommy knows the trauma of seeing your pops popped in his chops, yeah? And laying there just, you know what I'm saying? Tommy knows that. And Tommy thinking, wait a minute, my dad's chops weren't all that in his prime. What's going to happen when the JP pop me? Yeah? He don't want his sons growing up saying, damn man, your dad of 200 years of pure bare knuckle got mugged off by an internet videoed on. That's what you don't want. And that's fine, but you need to come out and own it. It's like, listen, people, truth is, yeah, I'm 100%. Molly got a bun in the oven. Listen, Tommy, come out and say, listen, bum, you man have known for a few months now, Molly got a bun in the oven, and I ain't fixing to traumatise my son having to 100%. That's what you got to do. And as a man, with all respect, that and say, you know what, man, listen, we all know you was going to get dragged by the JP anyway, so the fact you've come out and owned it, that's what a real man would do. A real man knows when he's been got, and you've been got. That's just what it is. Again, I wish I was wrong. I want to see this fight. I wish Tommy Fury wasn't one of the most scary looking dudes in history of the game, but he is. Yeah? He don't want to fight. That's what's evident here. He can't punch for toffee. He knows it. His chops is skeptical, suspect. And that's the end of it. And in finishing, I know I've said it already, but honestly, I really do. If I was Jake Paul right now, the Mike Perry fight ain't going nowhere. Yeah? And you know what, in the background, keep going forward with the Mike Perry fight. But if I was advising Jake Paul right now, I'd call this goofy dude on his bluff. And I'd say, you know what? You're right. I'm desperate to get in your knickers. I'll come to the UK and we'll donate it all to charity. That's what Jake Paul's play should be right now. Yeah? He's got millions in the bank, but he needs this. Or maybe I'm being selfish, but I need this. But I believe he needs this. His career it goes to the next level. Especially, I mean, if you knock out Tommy Fury in the UK, that is literally next level-ish. Do you understand? Most people think Tommy Fury is the favourite. Do you understand? So coming to the UK and knocking this dude out, which I believe is highly... I mean, listen. The knockout, we can never guarantee knockouts yet, but I'm 100% sure Jake Paul wins the fight. But if you come to the UK and knock out, that's next level stuff. That is like, for me, I think that's like Golovkin, Canelo kind of level. You understand? Obviously, Jake Paul and Tommy aren't Golovkin, Canelo level, but in terms of the impact to the culture, do you understand? And Tommy knows that. Yeah? Tommy likes to masquerade as, oh, I'm the Love Island hard man. That's what his shtick's been. His shtick's been, I'm the Love Island boxer. Yeah? But he's never backed any of it up. And this proves it. Anyway. Cornball. And if this fight don't... Now, you know what? Please, Jake Paul. Please just call this guy's bluff. Please. Because... Oh, I was about to say because... I don't want to give this guy any excuse, but from anyone rational, there's no excuse for what he's doing here. But that's why it's so important that Jake Paul just forget a lot of it and press this guy. Jake Paul should make it his mission, yeah, to press him. No matter, listen, Tommy, no matter what you do, no matter what you put in fact, Jake Paul should put a statement out and tell Timmy, listen, Timmy, I'm already a $50, $100 million man, yeah. I don't need no coins. And I'm letting you know now, whatever you say in the future, I'm down for it. Yeah? If you want to do it in 4-ounce UFC gloves, no problem. If you want to do it for free on the cobbles, no problem. Yeah? That's what Jake Paul should do right now. Let this guy know I'm going nowhere. I want you bad. Can't stop thinking about you. I'm dreaming of you. And then, what's Timmy going to do then? What does Timmy do then when Jake Paul says no problem in the UK? For free, for charity, no problem. And then what? Trust me, he'll come up with something. I'm convinced of it. He will come up with something. Come on now. Tommy loves money. Who here thinks Tommy wants to fight for free? Who here thinks Tommy wants to donate $1 million to charity? The same man who was upset about only being offered 1.5 million now wants to fight for free. Get the guy out of here. Yeah. And this show, really, Tommy shows you the state of society right now. Everyone trying to be a showgirl. Everyone trying to shine. Ooh. Yeah? Everyone trying to shine. No one trying to... And I'm not saying... Listen, I'm trying to shine too, but... yeah, but... everyone... I like to think... I say what... You know what I mean? If I say something... You're going to carry a little piece of weight, at least. You know what I'm saying? I'd never call someone out if I'm completely shook to death. Just keep your mouth shut, innit? If you don't want it, just keep your mouth shut. Tommy, you don't want nothing to do with the JP. Keep your mouth shut. Tommy can come out and say, listen, people, a few years ago, I made a mistake woofing at the JP. And I want you, man, to know I've just wound my beak right the way back in. I don't want no smoke. I'm a civilian now. My name Tommy Fumbles, and I'm a civilian. I don't want no problems, especially with the JP. That's what you got to do. Yeah? Maybe Tommy can go and play with KSI. You two are the same level. Both of you got no ports. That's what you two should be focusing on. Timmy and LSI should be fighting each other. No squabbles having ass dudes. Anyway, corny. I hope I'm wrong. I genuinely hope somehow, some way, this guy actually wants to fight. He don't want to fight. Let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. No doubt about it, 100%.